Hello, Shoma ji. I have admitted you. Are you in?
Yes, G. Very good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
What's going on? आप बताओ.
I'm fine, thank you. So, which place are you from?
I'm from Ghaziabad.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent, excellent. Guneet, ma'am, welcome to you.
मैम कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hello, Guneet, ma'am. I'm sure your video will be switching on.
Yes, I will be. Give me 1 minute. I am just. Am I audible clearly, or do I need to put on?
Crystal clear, crystal clear.
Perfect. Then I can switch it on right away. Hi, Anupama. Hi,
हेलो,
Shobha.
हाउ आर यू?
Very good. Very well. How are you?
बस एक मिनट में लाइव.
I'm just waiting. Purva ma'am has come. Hello, Purva ji. Welcome to the interactive session. Okay. So with everyone's, I'm sure Purva ma'am be joining or has joined already. It says,
Yeah. Good
Purva
evening,
ma'am.
everyone. Yeah, good
Hi.
afternoon.
Yeah, there you are. How are you doing?
I'm good. And how are you
So
all?
before I actually, all good. Before I actually start, formally, I welcome you all. That besides, I just, coined. I was having a long conversation last night with Anupama ma'am, and we are from the same fraternity. And that was I came to know later last evening. Having said that, what I'm trying to say is that last time also, if you remember, Purva ma'am, I said that digital medium has given you an extended family to whom you can just about reach any time of the day. This is an amazing platform where I could call Anupama ji because I saw her online and I thought our thought process and our objectives are all aligned, and hence I'm sure she will pick up a call. And if she doesn't pick up a call, I have no business feeling bad because that's her time and I'm intruding into her time. She was kind enough to pick it up immediately and speak to me at length. Last night, I'm a great advocate of connection, connect. So this platform from today is going to be called as Connect to Care, not Connect and Care, Connect to Care.
Very nice.
And thank you. I'm all my three speakers are here, and of course, Shoma, I'll be coming to you from time. I hope you don't mind me calling by first name. Is that fine with you all? Please give me a thumbs up.
Yes, I would also like you to drop the G and just call me Purva because it becomes
I feel more like Parle ji. You can call me.
That's a cute one. That's a cute one. So just to keep the etiquettes of the conversation, oh, that's a cute one. I can see one's cute little bumblemas face. Etiquettes of the conversation of connect to care going. I would like to first welcome you all on this platform. We are all basically part of the deep family. So thanks to Manish sir for connecting us, connecting our dots literally, and fostering that love for one purpose, that is parenting. And we all are, and I'm very sure all of us, all of you are here, and those who are going to be watching us later on are deeply indebted to Mr. Manish. So thank you, Manish sir, on behalf of all of you.
Very well said. Very well said, Shubhaji. We are all deeply indebted to him for bringing us all together and, enabling the spark within us to blossom.
Very correct. Beautifully put up. So at the outset, let me welcome today's series, Connect to Care. Anupama ma'am, our first speaker. Anupama ma'am has been a very vocal member. I have perhaps the very first few members whom I started following, and I started seeing what is the content coming. Very impressive, the way she carried on, and very to the point, to the core. She doesn't deviate from what she has to speak. So hats off to you, and my compliments. And of course, she is an author of a book which we are all aiming. She's already an author of a book, Joyful Parenting. So my compliments and congratulations for achieving that feat. And yes, she's also I mean, not to bring about our husbands, but then she's somebody whom, from my fraternity, means defense, and I've got the greatest love for my defense, and she's a part of it. So you know how it is. So yeah, Anupama ma'am, you are the first speaker, and the second speaker is Guneet ma'am. Always approachable. Whenever I tried to break into her webinars, I found her free-flowing and connecting with people and complementing the other side's point of view, which is so important. When we know something, हिंदी में बोलते हैं पकड़ के बैठ जाते हैं, उसको छोड़ते नहीं है. जब आप छोड़ोगे तो तभी तो बहुत सारा आएगा ना अंदर. पकड़ो मत, सब चीज को छोड़ दो, खुला छोड़ दो. And I found her very easygoing, very beautiful, actually very beautiful. The flow was very good. So I thought, why not contact her? And so I welcome you. And she's a homemaker, proud homemaker, and she's not trying to, I'm sure she's already launched herself as a parent coaching, an articulate person. So welcome you. And now next member, Purva ji, who was to come, not to come, but then I have to give compliment to her here. Despite all her commitments, she just reached and she just had a grab and she said, take me in. She thought at 3 o'clock I've already started. I said, no, I'm starting at 3:45. Please go and have your food. I've sent you a message. Take care. Have your food. And one thing is, digital media actually has enabled us to see and reach the person within. I don't know how that has happened. When I see 2-3 times your reels, I know where this thought is coming from. I know where the intention is coming from, how commercially motivated you are, which is very good. I love the people who are commercially motivated. That's why we have to do what we have to do, right? But behind that commercial feeling, how much is the heart? Because if the heart is not there, and if the balance of heart and mind is not there, then you will not reach that goal, which is bringing up a generation which is less scarred and more healed. Is it not the objective of parenting? Yes, to create flowers, to create buds to flower, which will anyway wither. Withering तो होगा ही. Withering के process में भी वो fragrance फैलाता रहे, ये हमारी जद्दोजहद है और कोशिश है.
Very well
So
said,
today's topic,
Shubha.
yeah, thank you.
Very
And
good.
of course, yours truly, Mrs. Shubha Shashidhar, like I always say, yours truly. So always here. Call me anytime, contact me anytime. I'm there for deep and for all of us. Today's topic is, we have been speaking about stress and the manifestations of stress and why stress happens. Why do we always speak about a thing when it is just happening? Why don't we speak about a thing or throw light upon it or start a dialogue or a samvad when we know that it is going to be happening in near future and we must have strategies? So I thought today, let us start the exam generated stress, which in June we are going to be facing, our parents will be facing, some of you will be facing. How are we going about it? So my first thought about stress is, in my opinion, of course, my first speaker is going to speak at length and she has a lot of detailed, information about it. But stress is that thought which comes in my mind, which I'm engaging with, and I am not allowing the other thought to come across, which is not going to give me stress. So when I learn to not engage with that thought, I'm stress-free. Whereas when I am having a samvad constantly, khokla samvad with that thought, then I'm stressed. However, this is a layman's explanation of stress. Let me welcome Anupama ma'am to throw light on the link and the connection between stress, anxiety, and fear. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, all the team members in the group. Thank you, ma'am, so much for giving me this opportunity. But before we talk about stress, let us first break this down as to actually stress hota kya hai. Stress can be academic, stress can be related to your career, stress can be related to your children. Stress is stress. And what is stress and what is worry? And what is the difference between stress and worry and what is anxiety? So stress, ma'am, क्या होता है? Stress is basically a physiological manifestation of what you are thinking in your mind. Stress you can feel in your body. आप अपने body में stress को feel करते हो. It can be in the form of sweating, it can be in the form of racing heartbeat, or it can be having a headache, some kind of bowel irritability. So वो physiology में and here I want to point out, mind and body are part of the same system. So whatever the mind feels, the body also feels the same way, or and it is vice versa. तो अगर आप कोई भी चीज फील कर रहे हैं अपने बॉडी में फिजियोलॉजिकली, उसको स्ट्रेस बोलते हैं. Now what is worry? Worry is basically something that you are thinking about in the future, not of the present, a perceived danger. It can be exam. Let's take it in for example, बच्चे का exam का कोई result आने वाला है. This is the topic about which we are talking, so let's relate to this. अगर exam का fear है, result आने वाला है, that is again a perceived thought that is coming in your mind. A fear which is not here in the present, something, a danger that you are feeling, which is going to come, a fear. And then such kind of negative thoughts starts having repeatedly coming in your mind. So these thoughts, this culminates into physiology in the sense आपके body में वो sensations produce होते हैं और ये दोनों को मिला के anxiety produce होती है. अब anxiety does not mean कि आपको कोई thought आया and वो thought आने के बाद आपको कोई feeling हुई, कोई sensation हुआ. That is not anxiety. That can be something that comes to your mind randomly. If this is happening over and over again, continuously, repeatedly, and you're going overboard in the sense you can't sleep, you're having feeling of vomitish feeling, आपको headache हो रहा है, आप अच्छी नींद नहीं, insomnia की problem है आपको. So all these are signs and symptoms of stress and worry. And when you add them together, and if it keeps going and you keep going in the loop again and again and again. So basically, worry is cognitive and stress is physical. And all these things create an emotion, an outburst of emotion, which leads to anxiety. अब मैम सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज जिसके बारे में आज हम बात कर रहे हैं, जिसका है कि एग्जाम. एग्जाम का पहले स्ट्रेस होता है कि एग्जाम देना है. एग्जाम दे दिया, उसके बाद स्ट्रेस होता है कि एग्जाम का रिजल्ट क्या होगा. So are we living here in the present, in the here and the now? We are not. So for all those parents who are listening, or even the children who are listening, why can't we just be in the present and do things that we want to do? Now, that is the question. Question ka jawab ye hai, mind is hardwired to negative thoughts and stress. The moment something positive, it will be thinking of something negative. It is something like today, just now. Don't think about it at all.
Anupama ma'am, I think your internet is a little not very strong.
Can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. So, ma'am, अगर हम ये stress के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, so do you want me to go deeper into it?
So my question here would be, given a scenario, there is a 12th standard child, and that's the time when there is a lot of stress. Now, in a given situation, an Indian family situation where we are all there, someone who knows so much, if a family learns this, what is stress and how it happens, and if they are able to draw out a few strategies from, say, 7th standard, because 7th standard onwards, I personally believe that mid-level onwards, you should start preparing your child that there is going to be a lot of stress. At least, even if you don't talk about it, there can be strategies discussed. So let us have at least 4 strategies to firstly make the parents understand what is stress or what is anxiety and what is fear.
Okay, ma'am. So I'll break it down in very simple terms, as in it is basically simple words में stress or yeah, anxiety is always for a perceived thing which is going to happen in the future. कोई भी चीज फ्यूचर में जो होने वाली होती है उसको हम इमेजिन करते हैं और वो बॉडी में फील करते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट आई सेड टू यू. और ये दोनों चीज मिला के आपके बॉडी में एंजाइटी क्रिएट करती है. तो अगर आप ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन इफ यू आर थिंकिंग दैट व्हाट विल हैपन इन when my results are going to come, will I pass? And there is another thing which is called what if concept. What if I fail? What if I don't get good marks? What if I do not get the good college that I want to get? What if my parents get disappointed? So these are the what if questions which leads the child get into a very negative thought process. तो ये what if वाला जो situation है इससे माँ बाप ही उसको बाहर निकाल सकते हैं. In the sense that before the exam even starts, and as you said कि 7th 8th class से अगर हम ये चीज शुरू कर दें तो I'm sure that by the time the child is in class 10 he will take an exam as just something, an event that has happened. It is not life. Grades can only be a part of your life. It cannot become your life. So how does it come to the child? It comes to the child because parents are having such kind of conversations at home. They are always talking. अभी 7th में आ गया है, 8th 9th तो उसका बहुत busy जाएगा, इसका ये subjects बहुत weak है. What do we do about it? How do we deal with it? So when you are talking about all these things, you are unloading, unconsciously you're unloading your stress and anxiety onto the child. You might not be speaking to the child directly, but indirectly you are unloading it to the child. तो इसकी कुछ चीजें होती हैं मैम जो माँ बाप को बहुत माइंडफुली सोचना है. जैसे आपने बोला 4 चीजें, मेरे हिसाब से यू शुड इनकरेज एफर्ट ओवर रिजल्ट. यू शुड स्टार्ट वेरी अर्ली इन लाइफ. अगर if the child, for example, if the child is not good at maths and the child has scored, let's say in the last exam has scored 10 out of 20, and in this exam the child has been able to score 15 out of 20. So there has been a marked progress, even though if it is of 5 marks. आप बच्चे को क्या बोलते हो, यार 15 तो ठीक है लेकिन 18 19 आ जाता तो ठीक रहता. तो आपने इमीडिएटली उसका जो एक बच्चे का एक सेलिब्रेशन टाइम फील गुड फैक्टर कि ओ गॉड आई हैव गॉट 5 मार्क्स मोर, वो इमीडिएटली वो ब्रिंग डाउन कर देते हो आप अपने टॉक से. You dampen the spirit by telling them 15 is okay, but I think you should have done more. So why not change the statement as to, wow, you scored 10 last time. Now this is going down to 15. Amazing effort. So next time, I think you're going to be more charged up. You're making a statement, you're making a same statement, but in such a way that is encouraging the child. So second point is, ma'am, stop comparing. Comparison is the worst thing. Comparing, criticizing, blaming. These are the 3 things which actually demotivates and humiliates the child, whether the child is in class 7 or 10th or 12th. अब अगर हम खुद internalize करें, हम अपने घर में हम parents हैं. As a parent also, if we have made some good dish as a mother and we place it on the table and the whole family says खाना तो बहुत अच्छा बना है, maybe you made some sweet dish. And one of the kids gets up and says कि mama, it's good, but it has not been, I think थोड़ा सा कच्चा रह गया है. How would you feel about it? So if you are not able to take that thing and you are an adult, how do you expect the child to resonate with what you are saying? So comparison really demotivates the child, and it has got nothing to do with the age. As parents, we are not sit with the child, we do not spend time with the important चीज है. और आपने तो हर जगह सुना होगा, शर्मा जी के बेटे ने तो इतना स्कोर किया, उसको तो बड़े अच्छे मार्क्स आए थे. मैम इसका तो आजकल मीम्स भी बनना शुरू हो गया है, जोक्स भी आने शुरू हो गए. थर्ड थिंग मैम, praise progress, not perfection. There is
Mm.
nothing like perfection that exists on this earth. We do not know the meaning of perfection, because for you, perfection might be, from your perspective, something else. And for me, perfection might mean something else to me. So आप जो अपना perfection है, वो आप अपने बच्चे पे unload कर रहे हो. Your thought, your thing. और जो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मैम, मैं हर अपने प्रोग्राम में बोलती हूँ, अपने एस्पिरेशंस, अपने ड्रीम्स को कंटेन कीजिए. दे आर नॉट योर प्रोजेक्ट, दे आर इंडिविजुअल, दे आर यूनिक इन देयर ओन वे. उनको वही रहने दीजिए जो वो है. साइंस मैथ्स आप नहीं कर पाए, ये आपकी प्रॉब्लम है. लेकिन आप चाहते हैं कि आपका बच्चा नीट क्लियर करे, जेईई मेंस क्लियर करे, बिकॉज आपके खुद के थॉट्स एंड एस्पिरेशंस हैं. यू वांट टू क्रिएट अ स्टेटस सिंबल. ओ गॉड, माय चाइल्ड इज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर आईआईटी और फॉर जेईई मेंस और व्हाटएवर. वो कर रहा है की तैयारी, लेकिन अगर वो उसमें फेल हो गया तो ये आपके लिए डिमीनिंग क्यों हो जाता है? अपने से ये सवाल पूछिए. ये आपके लिए इतना डिमोटिवेटिंग क्यों हो जाता है? और चौथा और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है मैम, हम लोग को कुछ रिलैक्सेशन टेक्निक्स फॉलो करने चाहिए. व्हेन यू गेट इनटू दिस लूप ऑफ हैविंग नेगेटिव थॉट्स और परसीव डेंजर. सो अगर आपके दिमाग में कोई परसीव डेंजर भी है, तो देयर हैज टू बी समथिंग कॉल्ड परसीव्ड सेफ्टी. सेफ्टी मतलब अगर आप कोई डेंजर को परसीव कर सकते हैं, तो आप सेफ्टी को भी परसीव कर सकते हैं. That is how the mind works. Mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It is you who feed in all these things. तो अगर हम अपने बच्चों के साथ शुरुआत से, जैसे आपने बोला मैम, क्लास 7 से 8 से अगर ये ड्रिल फॉलो करना शुरू करते हैं, कोई बात नहीं, इस बार नहीं हो पाया, अगली बार करेंगे. एंड कैसे करेंगे? स्ट्रैटेजीज डिसाइड कीजिए, कोलैबोरेट.
इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट.
उनके साथ मिलके काम कीजिए. किसी सब्जेक्ट में अगर बच्चा बहुत ज्यादा वीक है, तो दैट चाइल्ड कैन प्रोग्रेस टू अ लेवल वेयर ही कैन परफॉर्म ऑन एन एवरेज. एवरेज पे आके वो परफॉर्म करे. और जरूरी नहीं है कि उसको 100% मार्क्स आने. जिस सब्जेक्ट में अगर बच्चा बहुत अच्छा है, लेट हिम वर्क हार्डर इन दैट सब्जेक्ट एंड ही विल परफॉर्म बेटर. देयर इज वन टेक्निक मिस मैम व्हिच आई वांट टू tell parents, which I will discuss in the end if you give me time, how to go about it when they are going through this stressful thing. Thank you.
Thank you. It was very, very in-depth and very well spoken. There are two. There's one incident which I'd like to share, and I generally go from incident to incident in programs, in sessions. I without quoting the people, the family was very well known to us, and this was in the year I think 2012-13, and everybody was generally stressed out. And in those days, the term stress was used so loosely. Now we are very conscious. Post COVID, we have understood the impact the words will make in our lives. We have understood that. At those days, it was loosely just thrown. You know, you are stressed out. You see you just see one, what should I say? Today, I don't have onions, and the family will be stressed out because onion is not there. Tomorrow, I have to go and work. How will I manage that? That also could cause stress. As now, this family was a very happy-go-lucky family. Father was a golfer. The mother is a painter. The children are okay. Their child is in 12th. There is a friend who is also in 12th. The friend is a sports girl doing exceedingly well in sports. In academics is average or above average. Cut results. The girl put in 4 months of continuous studies and topped the class in a subject which she chose of her choice in 12th. In 11th and 12th, so that is most important. She took a subject which is of her choice because she's a sports girl. She took a subject which will need only 4 to 6 months of continuous, dedicated studies, and she will be able to scale at least 92%. As her luck would have it, she's topped this class, school rather. The boy we are talking about, very intelligent, very quiet. Nobody knows his in-depth knowledge and his feelings, and going through very bad hormonal impact of 12th standard, does not know how to cope with it, only confides in friend this girl, and badly fails in the exam. The parents are very upset. They do not know what to do. They talk to the girl, they talk to the family, friend's family. The friend's family just says, take it easy, take him for golf and get out of this place because anyway your posting is coming. Go out and take a call around. The marks were less. He was not failed, but it was as bad as because he wouldn't get in any college. Anyway, they managed some college. Today, to cut the story, today that boy is driving one of the most expensive cars in Japan and he has a startup. What I'm trying to draw is, I love the way that family took it on chin, that situation. They came to someone whom they thought would understand their plight, despite the fact that that family was regaling in celebration. You know, they didn't stop. That didn't stop them. They said, "Please guide us. What do you think?" And that family, which is already celebrating, told them, "Listen, today we are celebrating, but we want to tell you something. We feel this is what you should do." They did whatever they had to do. That boy has done it, I believe, because the family understood the negative impact of stress and faced it beautifully, most positively. And I'm sure it wouldn't have been an easy journey for them. It can't be. It can't be कि next time वो बच्चा बिल्कुल. But 12 साल बाद अभी recently हमें पता लगा he's in Japan doing phenomenally well. So at the end of the day, as I rightly said, stress is the perceived fear of the unknown. It is caused by that. If they had succumbed to that fear, he would have not done well. So now, on this juncture, I would like to invite Shoma ma'am. I'm sorry, मैं आपको introduce नहीं कर पाई थी. We have Shoma ma'am on our panel. She's come to listen to us and contribute. Maybe after all the speakers have spoken, I will invite Shoma ma'am to give her insight. Now I would like to invite Guneet ma'am, and Guneet ma'am is always smiling and I like that smile. First question which comes to you is as ma'am correctly said, the fear of unknown and fear of uncertain future. I think the first question I will take it, the impact of the fear of uncertain future is, of course, is Purva ma'am's question. Guneet ma'am, your question would be, why has result-generated stress become so toxic and so prominent now, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am, Shubha ma'am. So as I really would like to compliment the in-depth knowledge that Anupama ma'am has shared. And coming to this topic, I'll stick to the Indian context as of now. So one is increasing academic pressure, parental expectations, competition for limited seats in top colleges or universities,
Very good.
high stakes in testing and evaluation systems, and social media. So these four things. So now to elaborate on each of these, parents' expectations. So we have I'll give you an example. Now we have a middle class family, not doing very well, but okay, sustaining themselves well. Now their child is in 11th. He's real thin. The mother wants the child to crack NDA. कैसे भी करके वो NDA आ जाए, NDA में आ जाए. He is not very good in studies, and NDA is not just physical fitness. It is a lot many things. So, but she is not willing to look beyond it. नहीं, हमारे विलेज से तो सारे NDA में जाते हैं. तो मेरा बच्चा कैसे नहीं जाएगा? Again, the societal pressure is there. A lot of it is there. वो बच्चा वो क्या करेगा? And she's not willing to consider, as a mother, she should be rather open to accepting, as you rightly pointed out, कि अगर जैसे आपने example दिया, वो बच्चा के नहीं नंबर अच्छे आए, the family supported him. ये mother, she is not willing to look कि आगे भी और resources हैं, और career opportunities हैं. The world has changed. The opportunities that are available in India have changed. We have, apart from NDA, engineering, IAS, medical, we have so many more opportunities. There's so many allied fields. Or in fact, I can give you so many examples of children who, after doing IITs and IIMs, they've gone to business to roots. कोई organic farming कर रहा है, कोई dairy खोल रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है. They're amazing. You cannot just restrict yourself to education. But sadly, that is what is happening today. Everything is hinged on those marks. The entire career, everything, as in all the expectations are hinged on those marks, and that's what led to the rise of the quota institutes. The institutes and quota, and then the stress that they create, the peer pressure that creates, and that leads to drastic steps the children take. And children decide, "Acha, mere number nahi acha hai, ab main kya karunga?" They feel like the world has crumbled around them. Poor things, they're teenagers. They haven't seen the world. They don't know the success stories. So what do? They jump up from the 14th floor. Koi 14th floor se chhalang maar raha hai, koi kuch kar raha hai, koi kaise suicide. That's not the life. That's not the kind of pressure you should put. You should talk about it in the family, like you rightly said. Like this family whose child had not scored very well actually supported their child. Ultimately led to the success of the child. It's such a beautiful,
story. Yeah.
As the family supported them. Another thing is, again, growing competition, वही seats वही है, scholarships उतनी, मतलब scholarship in the sense the government colleges that are there, IITs and all, which are subsidized than the other private colleges. Seats उतनी है, सब कुछ उतना ही है. एक तो लोग careers नहीं explore कर रहे, दूसरा वही. And in fact, I'll tell you one example. About 4 years ago, I met a mother. She was in fact mother, as in her son and my son were in the same class. So she said, "Oh, is your son preparing for entrance exams? What does he want to do?" First he told me. I said, "No, he doesn't want to do engineering or medical." "Oh, then what will he do?" Well, there are so many fields in the world. You can't just restrict your life to those. No, but if he wouldn't do engineering, what would he do? I said, "Well, he definitely doesn't want to go into medical, so he'll figure out what he wants to do. Let me just support him at this phase of life the best that I can."
So very, very true. Very true.
So it is quite interesting to see, but there are so many more things that we can bring it up at this point, and that parents nowadays, and in fact, recently I was listening to this, a month ago, I was listening to this report by Business Standard. They had on the YouTube actually, that the number of students that quota has seen in this year from 2.5 lakh, it's dropped to 87,000. That means awareness is increasing. While are talking about mental health, there's a growing awareness about mental health. And apart from that, people are exploring the alternatives. Online coaching, staying at home, which is of course cost efficient as well for the students who go out.
Yeah, I'll here draw your attention that Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, recently, I think Man Ki Baat also spoke, and I mean, I think he did some made a mention to Deepika Padukone's mental health organization. So I did a little research because I was going to do it, and you'll allow me, I'm sure, to share with you that there are n number of NGOs, and one of the NGOs which is being run by one Mrs. I've written her name and I was very impressed. I thought I'll be in touch with her sometime. Her name is Vanessa D'Souza. She's running a NGO called SNEH, that is Society of Nutrition, Education and Health Action. It's a complete non-profit, like our non-profit organization. However, it is working in tandem with the government policies, how to implement, going to the lowest denominator schools, slums, bastis, they have helplines, and there are n number such in bigger cities. Tier 2 cities also have, but tier 3 and 4 unfortunately have none, wherein digital media is already there. So the negative impact is there. but the tools are not that for the child to reach out for help if the child wants. So my point here is, if by God's grace, our this particular talk goes viral, I'll be so happy that the parents must know there are helplines. Please put your child, if the child is not ready to talk to you, let them talk to the online counselors or online school counselors, whoever is there, reach out to the child. एक जिंदगी एक करियर या एक मार्क्स या ग्रेड से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट तो नहीं हो सकती ना. आज जिंदगी है, बच्चा कुछ ना कुछ कर ही लेगा. जैसे वो लक्ष्य का एक बहुत फेमस डायलॉग है जावेद अख्तर का कि अगर माली भी बनना है तो जिंदगी का सबसे बढ़िया माली बन जाओ. तो अगर माली बन के मैं लैंडस्केपर बन जाऊं तो क्या खराबी है इसमें?
Absolutely.
क्योंकि ये जर्नी होगी. और आपने बहुत बढ़िया एक पॉइंट बोला, ये एनडीए वाला पॉइंट. ऐसे मैंने बहुत पेरेंट्स देखे हैं कि वो 10वीं के बाद सडनली रियलाइज करते हैं कि अब हमारा बच्चा एनडीए जाएगा, not realizing maybe the child doesn't want to go. Secondly, the child doesn't have a physical bandwidth to go. And NDA is all dimag ka khel. You know, you need to have that bandwidth to answer the, SSB or whatever it is. And you put pressure on the child because your regiment or your people or peer and others have gone. This actually makes that child, creates a vacuum inside the child, and the child goes deep inside. At that point, the child does not know where to go and takes that horrible step. I really pray that one of us, at times, at least one of us, should put across a reel on this, an extensive reel. I'll just come to you, ma'am, on this, so that we are able to start a what do you call as a cascading effect. Then everybody will start putting. Yeah, ma'am. I'll go back to you.
As Guneet ma'am said very well कि बच्चे की कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है फिर भी आप उसको पुश करते हैं. तो इसके पीछे रीजन क्या है? थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाते हैं. रीजन इसके पीछे ये है, academic success is related to status symbol. आपका स्टेटस सिंबल है, आपका बेटा एनडीए पास आउट है, आईआईटी है या क्लैट है. ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर लेबल्स एंड ब्रांड्स. ये ब्रांड्स मैम बिकते हैं आजकल दुकानों में. ठीक है, अगर आपका बच्चा किसी अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट में नहीं गया है तो यू फील दैट यू आर अ बैड पेरेंट. आपने अपने बच्चे को अच्छी तरीके से तालीम नहीं दी, या आपने अपने बच्चे को अच्छी ट्यूशंस नहीं कराई, उसको कोचिंग नहीं भेजा. Why do you feel so proud about the fact that your child is going to Akash and not sitting and studying at home? What makes you force the child to go to Akash? If the child himself is saying I can sit at home and study, I have seen parents literally forcing their children कि भाई नहीं तुमको आकाश जाना चाहिए. वहाँ structured, मैं कहती हूँ अगर आपको structured कराना है आप उसको 3 महीने का crash course करा दो. Let him decide on his own as to what he wants to do. फिर मैम इसमें मेजर रोल टीचर्स का भी होता है. इट्स नॉट ओनली पेरेंट्स. टीचर्स क्यों करते हैं मैम ये? हैव यू एवर थॉट अबाउट इट? टीचर्स बच्चों के दिमाग में परफॉर्मेंस एंजाइटी डालते हैं. आपका बच्चा पढ़ाई में बहुत अच्छा है, पता नहीं क्या गलतियां करता रहता है. आपने माँ बाप के दिमाग में कीड़ा डाल दिया, घर जाके वो पिटेगा बुरी तरीके से. बिल्कुल पिटेगा मैम. बिकॉज
मैम I'll tell you, sorry for interrupting, because ये थॉट मेरे आया है, I would like to share. हमने ना टीचर्स का एक खान क्रिएट किया, एक बड़ा सा एक वो क्रिएट किया कि आप निकालते जाओ, वो कोयले की खान से कोयला खत्म ही नहीं होगा. हमने गुरु नहीं बनाए. जब तक आप गुरु नहीं बनाओगे ना तब तक ये चलता रहेगा. और वो गुरु बनाना इजी नहीं है मैम, बहुत मुश्किल है उसके लिए. तो या कंटिन्यू विद योर पॉइंट.
My thinking will add on to what Guneet ma'am, and it totally resonate what Guneet ma'am is saying. कि पहले तो आप पेरेंट्स को काउंसलिंग की जरूरत है, बच्चों को तो जरूरत है ही नहीं मैम. पेरेंट्स नीड काउंसलिंग. उनको बैठा के उनके प्रॉपर उनका सेशन होना चाहिए एग्जाम से पहले. उनका प्रॉपर उनको बताना चाहिए कि किस पैरामीटर पे वो काम कर रहे हैं. Yes, Guneet ma'am wants to say something.
Anji. So our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, he has started Pariksha Pe Charcha since 2018, where he invites school students, their teachers and the parents, and sits and talks about it, which is, I think, a very, very good initiative to deal with this stress, that the leader from the top of the nation, the top leader, is talking about this. And it gives an impetus to everybody that we should talk more about it. It's just a needle in the haystack, but it's a beginning.
Yeah.
It's a beginning, a huge beginning, and creates awareness.
और मैम फाइनेंशियल इनसिक्योरिटी जो पेरेंट्स की होती है ना मैम, वो बहुत ज्यादा रोल प्ले करती है. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल इफ द चाइल्ड इज नॉट गोइंग इन अ इंस्टीट्यूशन व्हिच इज गवर्नमेंट एडेड, नाउ दे स्टार्ट हाइपर वेंटिलेटिंग कि हम अपने बच्चे को किसी प्राइवेट कॉलेज में कैसे जाएंगे, हमारे तो फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी नहीं है, हमें इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स है. तो मैम उस चीज को एड्रेस पेरेंट्स को करना है, वो
I'll
बच्चों
come
का
to
काम
that.
नहीं है.
I'll be coming to that. Now with your permission, I'll go to Purva ma'am. Purva ma'am, before you want to put across a rejoinder for what both the speakers have spoken, let's get to your questions first, so that we are able to, uniformly able to correct, and then we come back for a taking away takeaways to compile the takeaways from Anupama ma'am, Guneet ma'am, and others.
Perfect.
So, as Anupama ma'am correctly said, we need to actually educate the adult, whether it is the teachers or the parents.
Yeah.
This child who is going through hormonal changes is also turning into a small adult. He or she can very well see what's happening. I would like to know that how does a child perceive a parent who is putting stress? Now they are दो different खेमे बट गए हैं, ये पाकिस्तान और इंडिया हो चुका है. अब आप बताइए कि वो कैसे उसे डील करें.
Ma'am, yeah, good evening. And I would just like to, this is the, like I was talking to you, Shubha ma'am, this situation happened with us. So my son, as parents, we actually don't realize that what we are telling the children, how are they going to perceive this? So when he got into class 9, so obviously everybody, thinks that the child is getting to the important class, because 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th is going to, it'll be this is the first step for your future. You need to think about it. And as parents, we think that, yes, the child is big enough to understand that whatever, whatever is coming for him. So, and especially when the children get into class 9, the teachers also suddenly become very strict.
Right.
Because they want the children not to, because it's that age that they start, they get more mischievous. Their minds like go, sorry, their minds are like, want to experiment different things. So the teachers become more stricter. And parents also think that, yes, we need to educate them. Maybe for us, it is a very natural and a very positive way of putting things across. But we actually don't perceive that what is the child, when the child is absorbing it from all sides, what is happening inside the child. So as very smart and understanding parents, we started talking to our son about it. And in summer break, like I was at my parents' place, so my brother and everybody, though we were having general discussions about how career paths are made, how you choose different whatever you want to choose, and how you perceive your life further. But when after the summer break, when my son started to go to school, suddenly there was a dip in his behavior. He just went quiet, and he came home one day and he's like, I don't want to go to school. So, and my son used to love to go to school. He was he is a child like Guneet ma'am and Anupama ma'am was saying that, yes, the children don't want a structured tuitions or guidance. He always wanted to study by himself. If we would ask him that if you want to go in for some tuitions or not, he would say no. Then it is too much of pressure कि मैं पहले स्कूल का पढ़ के आऊँ, तो मैं ट्यूशन का पढ़ूँ, तो मैं सेल्फ स्टडी का करूँगा. So he'd been studying on his own all throughout. And suddenly one day he tells me, I don't want to go to school. So I said, what do you want to do? I just want to sit with you. I said, fine, बैठ जाओ, आ जाओ, है ना? And I didn't show it to him, but मेरे तो अंदर, my mind is overworking, that what has happened to him suddenly? Why does he want to, what has happened? Like, so, okay, I'll cut the story short. And then after a while, like I went to the school teachers, I talked to them. Thankfully, the teachers were very helpful. And slowly I came to the understanding that when they went into class 9th, the teacher started telling them that अगर तुम पढ़ोगे नहीं तो तुम फेल हो जाओगे, because 9th class सबसे toughest class होती है. अब वो टीचर्स किस माइंडसेट से बोल रहे हैं, बच्चा तो नहीं समझ रहा. तो आई टोल्ड हिम, आई सेड बेटा, ही इज नॉट टेलिंग यू हाउ कैन यू फेल. इफ इवन इफ देयर इज अ डिप, there'll be a dip for 4-5 marks. It is not going to make a difference. Then he, okay, I was trying to convince him. Then my friend told me to take him to a psychologist, you know. So I took an appointment. I went to a psychologist. We sat there for 1 hour. The psychologist talked to me. Then she talked to my son alone. When we came out, I said, what happened? Then he's looking at me and smiling. I said, what happened? कहता, मम्मी ये तो वही सब बातें कह रही थी जो आप कह रहे हो मुझे इतने दिन से. So I told him, I said, see, तुझे पैसे खर्च के मजा आया realize करने के लिए. But then I understood that, you know, the हम अपनी तरफ से बच्चे को समझदार बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बट इतना ज्यादा उस पे प्रेशर हो गया था कि he actually didn't, he started worrying about his future. So what I feel is that as parents we think कि जो गलती हमने अपने करियर पाथ में करी है वो हम बच्चे को टाइम से समझा दें ताकि वो गलती वो ना करे. या एज पेरेंट्स हम सोचते कि हम अपने लाइफ में ये नहीं अचीव कर सके, सो मे बी our child has that potential, so he should achieve that. So these are certain points which I feel as parents we think that we should impart that knowledge to the child, but actually we shouldn't be doing that. As parents we should just start to tell them that yes, you are becoming a teenager, you are going to have a lot of hormonal changes in your body, your mind is going to give you different questions. So we should make them comfortable, that is so that they can come and talk to us. I was fortunate in this case that my son had that comfort level with me, that he could come up to me and tell me कि नहीं मुझे स्कूल नहीं जाना, मुझे सिर्फ आपके पास बैठना है. So मेरे पास बैठने का, my son till date, if early in the morning he has an exam and he gives me a call, I know that his mind is overworking. So he will call me कि good morning mama. So like क्या हो गया? कुछ नहीं, मैं कहा आज एग्जाम है. हाँ जी. So you know, I come to know that he wants that reassurance from me that yes, whatever he is doing, he'll be able to do it. So what I feel is that, you know, uncertain future सबका होता है, but अगर हम सोच एज पेरेंट्स हम सोचें कि हम बच्चे को हमारे बच्चों का फ्यूचर, अगर हम उनको बहुत सारी नॉलेज और हम बहुत अच्छी एजुकेशन और सब कुछ दे देंगे तो उनका फ्यूचर अनसर्टन होगा. नो, what we need to know is we need to learn to let them experience those little setbacks or those little failures early on in life, so that when they are experiencing those failures, we are around them. Yeah. If a child has a dip in class 9th or class 10th or even 11th and 12th, and we are around the child would know who to approach. The child should have that kind of confidence कि अगर मैं जाके अपने पेरेंट्स को बोलूंगा कि मुझे मेरे से ये नहीं हो रहा है या मेरे से ये गलती हो गई है, तो बच्चे को इतना कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए कि मम्मी पापा डांटेंगे नहीं, they would stand by me. Correct. So, very correct. So rather than giving them a dream of a secured future, we should make them learn that yes, it is okay to fail. Yes, it is okay to have a setback, because you know, it's a very I use this example with my son, that I told him that you are going to take a jump for your future. When he has done his class 12. So I told him कि at times when you have to, जब आप when you take a jump, a leap for a triple jump or a long jump, आप भागते हो and then you jump, or you go back a little and then you go forward.
Good point. Good point.
So I told him, because he did his non-medical and then he wanted to take a gap year. And he was very apprehensive कि मैं gap year लूं, कि मुझे जो college अभी मिल रहा है मैं उसमें admission ले लूं. So I said it's perfectly fine that you can take a gap year. We can take it as a learning year for you. And
What Purvaji you're saying basically is, okay, now I'm sorry I'm interrupting
No,
because
no,
we
no.
have about 8 to 9
Yeah.
minutes and I want to get back to Nupama ma'am and Guneet ma'am and also Shoma. So
perfect.
basically, if you know, there is a term in NEP, National Education Policy, which is the fulcrum of National Education Policy, which is scaffold. The teacher becomes a scaffold, the parent becomes a scaffold, and the stakeholder and a scaffold. So here we have to understand that we are not our child. We tend to become our children. वो क्या बोलते हैं ना, हिंदी पिक्चर में वो दिखाते हैं कि वो ये आत्मा और ये आत्मा मिल गई, ऐसा नहीं होता है.
बिल्कुल
ये
बिल्कुल.
स्कैफोल्ड है और ये मेरा बच्चा है. मैं उसको प्रोवाइड करूंगा और करूंगी एक फलक्रम जो स्ट्रेट
Fulcrum.
रहेगा. अगर थोड़ा हिला तो मैं साथ लेके आ जाऊंगी. However, I cannot become his future. I cannot create his future. He or she has to create their own future, face their own
Yes.
failures. Fantastically given with personal experiences. Purva ma'am, thank you. And I have about 10 minutes, 7 minutes. Anupama ma'am, you get about 2 minutes to give your points. Then I'll go to Shoma ma'am. Yeah, please.
So, ma'am, as ma'am has said, Purva ma'am, again I'll pick on from her. Like she spoke about her son, not getting into a structured curriculum. There's one point I want to draw. Children who are very intelligent or gifted, they also have these issues. If they are very intelligent and they don't like to study in a structured environment, and if you have been able to identify as a parent that the child is unable to sit for 2 hours or 3 hours and is still scoring very well, that is the time you need to step back. And if the child is studying for half an hour, give him that time. If he's getting the marks, if he's not attending school every day, if he doesn't want to get into a structured environment, if he doesn't want to go to Akash, whichever place he's going, it's okay. He will score well, he will do well. Second very important thing, जो हमारे लिए, हमारे parents के लिए और एक time पे मेरे लिए भी था मैम, drop year. You drop dead. बच्चे ने ड्रॉप ईयर ले लिया, जिंदगी सत्यानाश हो गई बच्चे की. आपके आस पड़ोस, आपके रिश्तेदार, आपके इन लॉज सब आके बोलेंगे बच्चे की जिंदगी खराब कर दी ये. अरे मैम, किसने डिसाइड किया है कि बच्चा 18 साल में या 19 साल में ये काम करेगा? ये तो सोसाइटी ने क्रिएट किया ना मैम.
I went through this, Anupama ji. Matlab, I know how I convinced everybody around me that it's okay for my son to take a drop year. He's not going to lose out on anything.
यस मैम. एंड दूसरा चीज मैम, एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज है, एक जब बच्चा क्लास 12 में होता है तो उसको आप आकाश भी करा रहे होते हो, साथ में वो 12 भी कर रहा होता है. तो एक तो उसका क्लास का प्रेशर होता है, दूसरा वो जो कोचिंग सेंटर जा रहा है वहां का प्रेशर होता है. अब वो कभी इधर होता है तो कभी उधर होता है, कभी इधर नीचे जाता है, कभी उधर ऊपर जाता है. तो माय सन व्हाट ही डिड वाज, ही सेड यू डिसाइड whether you want me to get 98% in CBSE or whether you want to make me sit for IIT. He gave me only 48 hours. Ma'am, I'm telling you the truth. I said, I'm fine. Ma'am, at that time, during those times, 75% was minimum marks required to appear for any IIT exam. I said, I'm okay with 75%. And ma'am, he is doing fairly well. He's moved out. He did not score very well in CBSE. पर मैम, आप लोगों से भी और हम खुद बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे जो डिग्रीज हैं, जो सारी हमारी रखी हुई, वो कहीं
Mr. Modi again, like Guneet ma'am quoted and I quoted, Mr. Modi recently I saw a reel, he said, आपके 10th के marks कहाँ हैं? कौन पूछ रहा है उनको, right? Guneet ma'am, over to you. You wanted to say something, then I'll go. We have 3 minutes
I
more.
want to share one very recent experience. Now, there were two cousins in the same school, same class by chance. मतलब भाई बहन के बच्चे थे आपस में, तो same similar age. तो अब 12th का एग्जाम आया, उनमें से एक बच्चा बीमार हो गया और वो he couldn't appear for the exams. The other one did very well. Now, the entire family said, इसका क्या होगा? ये तो एग्जाम नहीं दे पाया. But beautifully, his close family, this child's close family, they stood around him like a circle, like a wall,
Yes.
that we
Yes.
are with you. We are with you. We will support you. उसने
Exactly.
इंजीनियरिंग नहीं करी, that's okay. वो
Yeah.
बच्चे ने अगले साल अपीयर किया, उसमें फिर भी उसके सिर्फ 75 या 80 कुछ ऐसे आए थे. कोई बात नहीं, हम तुम्हारे साथ है. तो जैसे पूर्वा जी कह रहे थे ना, हमारे होते होते, पूर्वा जी और अनुपमा जी के हमारे होते होते बच्चे गलती कर ले, हम उन्हें संभाल लेंगे. जैसे आप कह रहे थे हम
बिल्कुल.
फलक्रम है, हम उन्हें सपोर्ट
Absolutely.
कर लेंगे. So this
बिल्कुल.
support is so essential, and for
Yeah.
parents to realize that they are the supporting. जैसे कहते हैं ना, बच्चा जब छोटा बच्चा स्केट्स चलाना सीखता है तो उसको
बिल्कुल.
पकड़ पकड़ के सिखाते हैं, या साइकिल
Yeah.
चलाना सीखता है, सो सपोर्टिंग व्हील्स होते हैं. हमने अपने बच्चों को दौड़ना सिखाना है, हम उनके
Exactly.
सपोर्टिंग व्हील्स है, और अगर हम उन्हें उस पर जज करेंगे तो कैसे
Yeah.
बने?
So Guneet ma'am, very great point. हमें जल्दी क्यों है बच्चों को कि वो उड़ने लगे? पहले उनके पैर तो नीचे अच्छी तरह से दब जाए, और धरती पे तो चलने लगे, फिर उन उड़ान भरते रहेंगे अपनी, है ना? Over to Shoma ma'am, and Shoma ma'am, you have just get 1.5 minutes, then I have to do my closing.
Thank you so much, everyone. Very good evening. This is Shoma Chatterjee. I'm a parental coach also, and into relationship. I'm associated with Deep, and thank you, Shubhaji, for giving me the opportunity to say. I will only say that we as parents just put our aspirations first. We should stop doing that immediately so that we can let our child live freely and happily. And
Thank
in
you,
this way,
Shoma.
we can.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'd like to thank Salina ma'am for joining. I can't see her, so Anupama ma'am, thanks a lot. You
Ma'am,
really.
please बोलूंगी यार closing statement.
Yes.
गिरते सवार मैदान जंग में वो क्या गिरेंगे जो घुटनों के बल चलते हैं.
बिल्कुल सही बात है. और इस मैदान जंग में हम आखिरकार मैदान जंग को जंग की तरह नहीं लेते हुए, गले लगाते हुए अगर आगे चलें तो हम बस जीतते जाएंगे हर जंग को. आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक अनुपमा मैम, गुनीत मैम, पूर्वा मैम, शोमा मैम and Salina ma'am for joining. All the three speakers, you did really well. Your research was commendable. I'll see you soon in Connect to Care. Bye bye. Shubha.
Bye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Shubha.